Tonight on the Goblin's Corner, Ludicrous Bestiary Volume 3.
Feline Horrors.
That's how we roll. 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 That's how we roll.
Welcome to the Goblin's Corner. My name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight,
We're doing Feline Horrors.
yes indeed, because your nightmares need to have a cat in it.
That's it.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's nothing else. So tonight we've got several monsters that we've created. This is part of our Stupid Monsters series, if you've been paying attention. But honestly, there's not really anything stupid about most of these. Amusing, certainly,
Right.
but not stupid. Oh, no. But definitely ludicrous
Yes.
and horrible.
Yeah.
In some cases. So we've got some feline horrors for your campaign free of charge. But before we get to that,
Got a question of the week, man.
every time.
Indeed. It's
And-
almost like that's why it's called the question of the week.
That's right. And we have a feline question of the week, of course, because feline horrors.
Because we try and keep it on theme most of the time.
You do. I mean, my brain is like an off-road vehicle, so I'm just rampaging through the woods randomly.
It's
But-
fair. All right, so here we go. If you could have a fantasy feline pet or make up your own,
Okay.
what would you choose? It cannot have humanoid intelligence, no sphinxes,
Okay.
anything like
No,
that.
no sphinxes.
So
That's,
what would you choose and why?
if I could have a fantasy feline pet, my first answer would be a tressum. It would have to be a tressum.
So
A flying cat.
the problem is that is also my first answer.
But
But
they're
they're
intelligent.
intelligent.
I know. And my second, you know what my second answer would be?
A
And it-
tressum that's not intelligent?
No, it would be an Exceed from Fairy Tale, the anime.
Sure.
It's also a winged cat, but they're intelligent.
Oh, sure.
So I can't have that either. This is a tough one for me because what I really need is a cat that can talk, because you know they would talk back to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They would just be a smart-ass friend.
They better be. I wouldn't want the cat otherwise. That's why you get a cat,
Right.
because they're smartasses.
Yeah, because you want a teenager, not a toddler.
Yes.
It's the difference between cats and dogs, folks.
So I would say a Smilodon.
Okay.
Just a cute little baby Smilodon, like this big, and he grows up and you can ride him like Battle Cat.
Okay. So no, we're not even fantasying it. You just want like a straight up.
I want a prehistoric Smilodon, saber-toothed tiger.
Okay. Okay.
You could see it, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I know what one looks like.
You know, it's a steamy, smog-filled day in Atlanta. There's cars everywhere, and here I am gracefully bounding over the cars, riding my saber-toothed tiger.
You are not bounding over cars. You're going from car top to car top and smashing them as you go because they're like
Absolutely.
1,200 pounds.
Yes, indeed. Just crushing them,
Oh, yeah. No,
batting them aside,
I've met you.
scaling 3 stories, smashing my way in. I'm at work now.
Yeah, Furry Jurassic Park. I know. I'm with
It
you.
would be awesome. I love everything. The mental picture of me, briefcase in hand. I don't even own a briefcase, nor do I have any need for anything to go into a briefcase, but I would have one.
Your laptop.
Big
course,
bright
you
red
could
tie whipping in the wind majestically as I roll into corporate America. I'd have a spear in my hand. I would ask for a raise. They would tell me no, and my Smilodon would swipe and slash somebody's throat, and then I would spear them. Hostile takeover. It'd be great, right?
Sure,
Like
yeah.
the mental picture. It's perfect. It
It's-
needs to be a cartoon.
I was going to say it is very, very, like the mental picture I'm watching of this is done in anime.
Oh yeah, either like old school anime with like the moving graphics or something, or Samurai Jack. I would also approve of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can see
Oh,
it.
no.
As
See, I was thinking like One Punch Man. kinda.
One Punch Man. Yeah, that's a good call for that. I'd do that. Yeah, cool. So that's my answer. Smilodon.
Okay.
Now, that's not technically fantasy.
I
but
mean,
it's good enough for me.
if you're going to do it today, it's fantasy.
That's true.
I mean, unless you leave it up to scientists.
So what is yours?
I still want a winged cat, man.
I know it's tough, right?
Well, hey, you know what? Or make up your own. I added that caveat, so I'm
Fair
going to
enough.
take it.
All right, make your own up then. What would you want?
I want a melanistic Scottish fold with bat wings.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I want.
So
I mean, bat wings that are big enough to hold it, obviously.
So just a
solid black. But do you know which one a Scottish fold is?
Oh yeah, he's got the cute little fold over ears and stuff with bat wings.
Yeah,
that would be cute.
Just a solid black because they're so fuzzy.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You're welcome for that mental image. People.
That is just nothing but cute. Nothing but cute until he hacks up a fur ball on your face in the middle of the night, and then he flies off. You imagine flying cats, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Because they would on people. Just because.
Maybe. Because they really prefer to do that privately.
Yeah, but they would. But given the fact that they hate all other life forms, they would do it just to piss you off. Are you someone who flies, or perhaps you own a cat? Write to us, info@goblinscorner.com, or you can reach me, eric@goblinscorner.com, or
me, Matt@goblinscorner.com.
And of course, you can find us on all the things.
Indeed.
So, on to the stupid monsters. With much fanfare and much ado, in this case now, we're going very specific. So the last couple of monster sets, we had some categories. The first one we just kind of riffed.
Yeah.
Came up with some ridiculous creatures. This time, it must include a feline creature in the makeup. Has to have a feline creature.
And it has to be feline primary.
Yes. Right. Not secondary for the stuff. So I'll give you an example. You could add a squid and a saber-toothed tiger, and you have a dire displacer beast.
Sure.
Think about that.
That's just the example, folks. That's not even one of the ones we're going over.
You want to know where they came from? That's where they came from. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you're like, oh, but squids have suckers, look up Humboldt squids. I'd say you're welcome, but you're not going to thank me for it.
Saber-toothed tiger and a Humboldt squid made a dire displacer beast? Why not?
They're not going to thank me for it. Those are terrifying.
So we've got a couple examples of different feline creatures, and we're going very loose because you might have a different game that you play.
Sure.
It may not be D&D, although you can use all of these for D&D. But you can also use some. No,
you really can't.
Not for one of them. Maybe two of them. Oh yeah, you could. I could use it for a Spelljammer campaign for one of them.
That's true.
So definitely one you probably can't use, but we've got several fantasy, several any game, and then a couple that are sci-fi as well.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of stats, and these are just general stats. So we've got what?
So obviously we need a name.
Yeah. So we've come up with some handy names for you to reference this by. And we'll probably write the stats up at some point when we remember to on our website.
Sure. Got descriptions and, what is it?
Yep. Some kind of special defense or attack that it has.
Sure.
And
combat and whether or not that's a thing.
And that could also include strategy in the combat.
Sure.
And finally,
ecology.
If it has one.
And does it have one? Yeah.
Some of these don't. So that's it.
All right. So I believe you're starting us off with the box cat.
Yes. Which is, I'm amused by the description because it is anything but a box.
Okay.
Although there is a reason why it's called a box cat. You hear a meow from the corner of your room. As you open a storage container, you see what appears to be a cat-like fur-covered gelatinous creature, as if a cat were suddenly boneless.
Mm-hmm.
So think of ooze in cat form.
Mm-hmm.
You pour the amorphous furry beast into your lap and pet it absent-mindedly as it oozes furry cuteness on your floor. Just kind of drips fur everywhere. Created for those who want a pet that is easy to travel with or for those with small apartments. Box cats have little to do with boxes aside from the fact that they can be perfectly stored in one and they enjoy small spaces, like all cats do.
Sure.
Like all oozes, they eat whatever organic matter happens to be lying around, which keeps a home very tidy, but it also keeps the box cat very easy to care for.
Sure.
You feed it whatever the hell you want. Just random vegetable matter, garbage out of the trash.
Yeah.
If it's organic, it'll eat it.
See, the great thing about that is if you cook the tops and tails of everything, you just dump them on the floor.
Just toss them to the box cat. He just oozes over, sticks a furry pseudopod, absorbs it, and there you go. In addition to organic matter, the box cat also feeds on pets. And I don't mean pets as in your pets.
Right.
I mean the action
Right.
I mean, I suppose it also would.
Pettings.
Petting, yes. I suppose it could also eat pets too, which would be detrimental for your pets,
Right.
but amusing as well. How this is equated into living energy, the petting, is unknown, but it is thought to be some form of psychic nourishment in origin.
Sure.
Everybody gets good feelings from getting pets. So does the box
Most
cat.
people.
Most people do, yeah. Some people don't like to be touched.
All right. So we have a furry puddle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you ever seen the webcomic Something Positive?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's been a while.
Okay. So in that webcomic, there is, in fact, a boneless cat.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have to make a call for our buddy Sigil because we used to have this running joke where he wanted a boneless chicken called Gummy.
Okay.
It was a boneless, beakless, brainless wonder, and it would just slither under the door. He just wanted a chicken that was boneless
Sure. That sounds very much like Sigil.
and beakless, probably also featherless, knowing him. So it'd just be this chicken mass.
He wanted a news
He wanted a news, yeah.
as a pet.
I just thought that was funny.
Sure.
Okay.
So let's talk about special defenses and or attacks.
Now, obviously, it is an ooze, so it would have all of the standard ooze attacks, which in D&D means it would have some kind of slam attack,
Okay.
just to let you know. When threatened, though, or more often, when the owner fails to give proper attention to the box cat, see where I'm going with there?
Mhm.
The box cat may suddenly decide to devour the unfortunate individual, much like how a cat behavior would be.
Sure.
It starts with a slam attack, followed by engulfing the victim, and then a series of tiny, sharp mouths do repeated piercing damage over time until the individual is eaten. So just kind of like a gibbering mouth there, it sprouts
Yeah.
tiny teeth,
Yeah.
just kind of grinds you into a paste. 10% of box cats can fling a fuzzy fur ball projectile. It could spit fur on you.
Sure.
This does no physical damage, but it is composed of mostly wet hair and undigested food matter. The recipient takes 10 psychic damage from it just being gross. It also never comes out of your carpet.
This is all accurate.
Yes.
And if you've never had a cat intentionally or unintentionally hack up a hairball on you, then you don't understand.
They're nasty.
Yeah.
Its combat, as I mentioned, is a slam attack, engulf, fur fling. So damaging a box cat with something sharp will cause it to split into 2 box cats, leading to even more trouble and cuteness.
So you don't adopt an extra box cat.
You just
You
damage
just lop
one.
yours in half.
Yep. You just cut it in half and give it to your friends, who will then stick it in a box and love it until it devours them. See? It's handy.
Yep.
Useful as a pet or for an enemy.
So what's the ecology of a box cat?
Box cats are not a natural creation and thus have no place in any ecology and shouldn't. Occasionally, some are left by their owners and turn feral. These can grow to monstrous proportions and give rise to the myths of fur mountains. Box cats are sometimes preyed upon in the wild by other top carnivores, including hunting birds and children.
Sure. Somebody dropped their Jell-O.
Yeah. Kids just wreck a box cat. Now, in my mentality, I was thinking this could be great for a fantasy campaign, obviously.
Sure.
Great for a
Shadowrun campaign.
Shadowrun campaign. Yes, it could be a mutant. So come up with how it was created. A mad wizard, mad scientist, kind of the same, right? It's all mad.
Yeah.
Could come from the far realm.
Or wasn't even a mad thing. It was done intentionally.
Somebody wanted an oozing cuteness.
Yep.
Who wouldn't want a fur puddle?
And, the easiest way to say that they escaped into the wild is you're in a mega complex, right? Your little box cat's coming roaming through. The automatic door closes,
Mm-hmm.
cuts a little piece of it off, and the little piece just goes roaming around.
Yeah, now you got a box
Oops.
kitten.
Yep.
Hanging out.
All right, so
That's the box kitten. So you have the next one up here, which is called a zoomie.
indeed.
So tell me what the zoomie is.
Well, obviously, this is clearly a play on when pets get the zoomies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But in this case, the description is the Feywild is a strange and wonderful, occasionally terrifying place. And only in such a place could you find the love child of a bobcat and a quickling.
So it's the Tasmanian devil. Something fast and furious.
Indeed. These silver cats with deep purple spots are a bit large for bobcats, averaging 35 to 55 inches from nose to the end of their tail. Not that the end of their tail means a whole lot because they're bobcats, so they got the little stubby nubs.
Oh, yeah, they got the little wiggle.
Yeah, so it is mostly cat and not mostly tail.
How tall are they?
Well, they stand 18 to 30 inches because bobcats out in the wild have a surprisingly wide range of sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know that.
Neither did I until I did research.
It's still fairly large cat.
It's true. They're a lot thinner than usual, despite being quite fluffy. This is, passed on from their quickling heritage
Because quicklings are thin and sprightly little creatures. Cool.
Because, how much would you have to eat to get fat as a quickling?
Yeah.
With a metabolism like that?
And eat like a whole person or something.
Yeah, you'd have to live in an orchard just... All right. Some sages theorize, only somewhat jokingly, the slightly increased size is to contain the increased unfocused disdain.
Because all cats have disdain from other things.
Right. And quicklings are also not kind and gentle creatures.
Fair enough with that.
So if you put the two of them together, it's bad times.
It is what it is, yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got a very fast bobcat. A very manic, somewhat disdainful, fast bobcat. So
Indeed.
What are its special attacks and defenses?
All right. Well, first off, if you're playing D&D or something similar, all attacks made against the Zumi are made at disadvantage unless its speed is reduced by half or greater.
Because you just can't catch it.
Yeah. It's fast, man.
You ever try to catch a cat when it's got the zoomies? It's tough.
Zoomies have innate magic, which is used for a variety of purposes, mostly some form of ambush or troublemaking.
Okay.
Because they're not kind and gentle creatures.
Theme that as you will for your campaign.
Right.
But you have some examples.
I do. They can mold unworked earth over time to suit their purposes. So they could, make a den for themselves. Oh, that's nice. But they could also make pit traps and other.
So I see it was like a trapdoor spider.
Yep.
Except you see this massive hole and damn, what kind of gopher dug that? And this Zoom cat just flies out at the speed of light.
Sure.
That would be fun.
Then create auditory illusions to scare or lure predators or victims.
So what is an example of the auditory illusion?
So, help me, off in the woods, and our intelligent heroes must go save this child.
There's a small child out in the woods lost. I must go and find her.
Exactly.
And then they find
And that's how the paladin dies first.
Well, that's what you get for being a paladin. Cool. What else can they do?
They also have the ability to levitate themselves or someone else a couple times a day.
Oh, that could be fun. Okay. So you've got an earth-digging, ventriloquist, levitating cat. That's fast.
Obviously, zoomies have evasion, or whatever the system equivalent is.
Of course they do. What kind of ecology do they have?
So the thing is very crossbreed between a fae and a natural creature. They don't exist in actual ecologies. They are fae creatures. So they exist in the Feywild, roaming around. I say roaming, buzzing at great speeds around. But other than that, if they get out into the prime.
There's no squirrels within a 100-mile radius?
In fact, but also they're not going to make any more of themselves while they're out there. I guess they could come across another bobcat.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah. So there could be problems.
Lightning fast bobcats all over the place. Now that would be a fun thing for adventurers to try to solve.
It's true. The one from the Feywild is also not going to die of old age, so it's not a problem that's going to go away on its own.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
What do you have next?
We have the mineral lynx, and it is a lynx.
Okay.
So the description goes as follows. As the group crests the hill, you stumble upon a large, majestic feline with a rugged, stone-like texture, such as mineral.
True.
Long tufts of fur sprout from its ears, and its crystalline tail is also bushy.
Okay.
It's kind of a mixture of fur and, crystal, right?
Sure.
The feline creature is surrounded by what appears to be statues of various humanoids in a myriad of poses, mostly horror. It suddenly turns as if to disregard you and lifts its tail. Roll a con save.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This was created because, how cats always want to show you their butt?
Yeah. Normally that's a sign of trust, though. That's
I know. This is a sign of
not
disregard.
normally an attack.
Yeah, this is an attack. So, created by a mad dwarven wizard to guard sacred mountains and peaks, the mineral lynx has been imbued with the power of elemental earth, as well as a terrifying ability to petrify victims with its star-shaped anus.
Sure.
I make these monsters to make myself laugh.
Oh,
really.
yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. All right. So, obviously, we know one of its special defenses / attacks. So,
Petrify other creatures, yes.
so what else we got going on here?
So its special attacks and defenses, being a creature partially composed of elemental earth, specifically mineral, thus the name, the mineral lynx can shrug off most physical attacks.
Makes sense.
It's made of rock, right?
Right.
So bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, doesn't really harm it as much, right? Half damage or whatever stat you feel like coming up with on the fly.
System dependent. Sure.
Yeah. Additionally, the creature has two particularly nasty methods of defense. The first, it's its petrifying anus attack.
Right.
Shows you its anus, right?
Yeah.
Any who gaze upon the mineral lynx's star-shaped anus must make a con save or equivalent, or be turned into stone or some kind of random mineral. You can roll on like a table.
Yeah. You might be worth something.
You
Your
might
friends might decide not to change you back.
turn into jade, and they sell you instead of resurrect you.
I'm just saying.
It might be worth more than the cost of the diamond to resurrect you.
Yep.
Think about that. Secondly, should its assailants continue to attack, the mineral lynx will spray the victims with a nasty smelling substance. It pees on them.
Right.
And it also turns people to stone.
Sure.
And I would say it would maybe calcify or mineralize them upon contact. So if you're playing like a sci-fi game, maybe you get splashed a little bit of cat urine and your arm starts slowly turning to mineral, like crystallizing, kind of like rock candy. It turns you into rock candy or something like that.
Sure. So that's more of a creeping stone disease versus the 3 rounds it takes to be petrified in
Sure.
5e.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could play with that. And
What was
of course,
it called? Like a grayscale from Game of Thrones?
I think
Would
so.
that be?
Yeah, something like that. So yeah,
Commensurate?
you could have it as a disease if you wanted to, or it could just be an immediate thing. You just turn to stone because you get peed on.
Yep.
It really depends on how you want to play the mineral lynx. You could up or down its scale for
Sure.
whatever versatility you want. In combat, obviously, it's going to act like a lynx. So it's got some claw attacks, it's got a
Mhm.
bite attack, and of course it's petrifying anus
Yes.
and spray. I can't help but laugh. I'm like 6 years old sometimes.
Oh, I know. And now, see me, like tactics wise, I can see this charging into a group of adventurers, taking the center spot, and then clawing, biting, and then whoever is the hapless soul that ends up behind it.
The rogue.
You're right.
The rogue is dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the rogue catches the...
The rogue gets a gaze attack.
Yep.
That's what happens. Sometimes it sucks to be the corpse.
Yeah. I had a couple of jokes that went running through, and I had to run them through the "is this appropriate" filter. None of them passed.
Think about that,
So
guys.
I'm gonna just sit there and smile.
Yeah, because we say a lot of inappropriate things, and Matt has to edit even that. That must be.
lot.
We're going to talk about this after the show. I can't wait to hear this. Ecology-wise, mineral lynxes feed on their namesake, so they eat minerals. And so anyone who is turned to stone by one doesn't stick around for very long. Handy.
Sure.
Additionally, they're also fond of precious stones, gypsum, quartz, and for some reason, lithium.
All right.
This is how
It
my
just
brain
gives them
works.
an even keel. Yeah.
This is how my brain works. They were created by a bunch of dwarven wizards, right? They guard mountain ranges. They turn you to stone. They eat you. It's
Right.
perfect guard animals. Occasionally, lucky adventurers can befriend a mineral lynx with those objects, so the precious stones or gypsum, or give them, some lithium pills or something, with these objects long enough to either A, escape from the mineral lynx, or B, bond with the animal.
So if you're headed in the right direction, like if you know this is coming, you just stock up.
Yeah.
Just pick up some of the little gypsum roses, the naturally forming crystals.
Yeah.
Just grab a whole pouch full of those and hand them over like kitty treats until it loves you.
Yep. There you go. And you've got a awesome guard animal.
It's true.
Mineral lynxes will also not attack dwarves on sight. So if you're a dwarf,
Sure.
you're good. Although they do have a habit of chewing on their beards. So that's the mineral lynx.
All right.
Pretty cool, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. We've got more feline horrors for you, but we'll be right back.
After these messages.
You with the face. Do you like what we have to say?
Help our channel rise from the depths like the mighty Godzilla.
Please like and subscribe and ring the bell and do all of the necessary YouTube.
What he said.
If there are any topics you would like us to cover, goods or services you would like us to review, or if you would like to sponsor an episode, we would love for you to contact us at info@goblinscorner.com. See you there. And we're back.
Welcome back.
So we're talking Ludicrous Bestiary Volume 3.
That's right. Feline Horrors.
And we've already given you 3
Right.
feline horrors. So we had the box cat,
Mm-hmm.
we had
The Zoomy.
and the mineral lynx.
Right.
And so we've got a couple more as well.
Absolutely.
And the next one actually is yours, and it's called Mr. Fuzz.
That's right.
And I'm really excited to hear why it's called Mr. Fuzz, because this is based off of a real animal.
Yes. Yes. This is based off of my grandmother's cat.
And when I read this description, I literally thought it was the cat from Discworld.
Grebo. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nanny
literally
Og's
thought
cat.
this was Grebo.
No, those. I'm pretty sure that Terry Pratchett knew my grandmother and had met Mr. Fuzz in real life. Like, that's the only explanation for how closely related those two are.
It just goes to show there's always a mean cat.
Yeah.
All right, so what is Mr. Fuzz?
So Mr. Fuzz, a.k.a. the meanest cat to ever live. In life, Mr. Fuzz loved only one person, an elderly woman that pampered him whenever he decided to visit. Every other living thing was an enemy. He was once seen mauling a wolf that was trying to catch a dog, only to turn around and also maul the dog.
That's a tough-ass cat.
So what you have to understand is that this is a slightly exaggerated true story. I once saw this cat maul a coyote that was chasing a dog and then turn around and maul the dog.
All right.
That's a thing that occurred because that's how little disregard this cat had for living.
That cat had a chip on his shoulder, man, and death wish or something. He was berserker in
That cat
in
had a whole
past life.
boulder on his shoulder, man.
Yeah, God, that was a Viking cat. He wanted to go out with a fury. All right, cool. So talk to me more about this cat.
After his death, he descended into the abyss. Whether this was a return home or simply his just reward is a matter of much debate among some scholars.
I can see that. Yeah.
Mr. Fuzz is a greater demon, having worked his way up the food chain in fairly short order. He knows no master in hell and has escaped a handful of times to visit his only friend in heaven, where they've decided to let him pass since he only wants pettings while he's there and will depart shortly again.
Yeah. He just comes up from the bowels of the earth.
Yeah, just sits on her lap for a little bit, gets his pettings, and then descends back down to continue to terrorize the multiverse.
This is definitely something that you could use for comic relief.
Yeah.
You could use this, honestly, as an assailant
Sure.
or as an epic level quest, an amusing epic level quest.
Like,
Because it should look like a house cat.
yeah, absolutely.
I would say absolutely no different than just a straight up house cat.
Clearly,
big
it has
old
to
Tom.
be. It has to be a tomcat. It has to be very fuzzy,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise that would not make sense due to his name.
Some battle scars, maybe. I could see that.
Sure. Let's see. And let's not go stereotypical. Mr. Fuzz in real life was gray. He was not a black cat. He was, you don't get to box me in like that. Oh, I'm not bad luck. I'm terror. So you don't have to make him gray, but don't make him a black cat. Don't be that guy.
So what kind of special attacks and defenses should Mr. Fuzz have?
Well, you understand he's a greater demon, right? So let's start off. He is immune to radiant, thunder, and all forms of fear or charm.
Yeah, I can see that. Because he's just a rampaging cat.
Radiant, because he is one of the only cats I've ever met that did not give a shit about your laser pointer. Thunder, because unlike most animals, he didn't care if it was pouring down rain. When he was ready to go terrorize the universe, he went out. And obviously, you can't be a rampaging beast without being immune to fear. And since he only ever loved one person, he's immune to charm also. You can't force him to love you. He hates you. And everything else.
All right.
Resists
Everything else.
literally everything else.
Yeah. I was thinking that's where you're going here.
So one of his special defenses is voluminous fur.
He's called Mr. Fuzz.
Exactly. The first time any individual creature bites Mr. Fuzz, they must make a con save or whatever is appropriate in your system, or begin choking
On the fur.
on the fur.
So he sheds like Halley's Comet.
Yes.
Leaves a trail wherever he goes.
Yes. His special attacks are his hate-laced claws.
I love every bit about this. This is great.
His claws ignore resistance and immunity. Moreover, a creature struck by a claw attack continues to bleed until either a med kit or magical healing is applied. Creatures take a cumulative 1 point of damage per successful attack at the start of their turn each round.
It's a badass cat.
Yes.
I want to ride him into traffic like a Smilodon. You can see that too, right?
That's,
Me riding this tiny house cat.
so, Blinding Strike is one of his attacks. Deck save or be blinded until magically heal. That's pretty simple. This is also apropos to this particular cat, because I know for a fact he's blinded at least one dog. What else do we have? Oh, Intimidating Presence. Target must make a charisma save or system appropriate, or all attacks made against Mr. Fuzz are made with disadvantage. Because have you ever seen the way even animal catchers approach an angry cat?
Fearfully.
Exactly. So now imagine this being the angriest cat. Everybody's like, I don't want to catch those hands.
Yeah, cat's pissed off, man. He's got something to prove.
And his next ability should conjure a specific picture in most people's heads that have ever watched any sort of cat videos. The left claw Flurry. After landing 2 successful attacks in a round, he can make 6 additional attacks at half damage.
Just bap, 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 bap.
Exactly.
Yeah. See where this is going. That's awesome. I also noticed you put down Berserk because it should be.
Right.
Any cat that takes dog on should be a Berserker.
If Mr. Fuzz loses half of his hit points, he goes berserk, at which point his attacks are all made with advantage and deal extra damage.
As appropriate to your campaign and setting.
Yes. Fearful Yowl.
Oh, cool. What is that?
So, if Mr. Fuzz is napping, he starts an encounter with a fearful yowl, forcing everything in 300 feet to make a charisma save, or whatever's appropriate for your system, or flee from the direction of the yowl for 10 minutes. Mr. Fuzz can perform a fearful yowl every 10 minutes until irritated enough to deal with the problem.
So that's Mr. Fuzz, huh?
Yeah.
And of course, it's a demon, so no ecology is needed for that.
Yeah. No.
Nice. I love everything about that. Yeah, just this pissed off cat that descended into the abyss, became a greater demon, and now lurks, occasionally ventures up from the abyss to get pets in heaven from its only owner.
Yeah. I had to give the devil his due. That's the most ridiculous cat I've ever seen in my life.
That's a badass cat. I want to own a cat like that. I love mean cats. That's just me.
All right. So, what do we have next? Oh, we're going a little more modern day futuristic angle.
We got a
for the
little
next
cyberpunk feline at this point.
All right.
And I call this the Meow Meme.
Okay.
Here's the description. Your screen begins to suddenly play an unknown video. On it, preset to your particular algorithmic specifics, are events which engage and interest you, and only you, in the room. Your attention is now achieved. The video begins to subtly shift, and you feel your mind becoming docile, servile, programmable. Your last thoughts before you become yet another tool to the electron entity which has you spellbound are of a large, fluffy cat in the corner of the video, which is kind of odd because it's the only thing out of place. Sinister, right? Like, this is where I'm going. Is like you watch something like something out of The Ring, basically.
Right.
But it's a cat.
Absolutely not sinister, nor really even all that out of place for my particular algorithm. But I can.
Yeah, that's fair enough. For someone's algorithm, it's
for
definitely
most people's algorithm.
Most people's. Yeah. So Meow Memes are sinister entities of the global telecommunications network. No one knows where they actually came from or what they are specifically. Depending upon the scholar asked, they will alternate with a particularly nasty form of AI. They might be a semi-intelligent neuro program or a spirit or fae of the digital world. Those who look too deep into Meow Memes end up disappearing for good.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so tailor it again to your world, dimension, and game.
Better be a Luddite if you're going to do some investigating.
Oh, yeah. Could you see this as... You could have a Meow Meme as a spiritual cat on a radio program, like in the 1920s Call of Cthulhu stuff.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Absolutely. You could also do...
Showing up on a Jacob's ladder like you just see a cat.
Yep. I was thinking you could do it as a cult patron.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
For, modern day times. All right, so what do you have for special defenses and attacks?
Well, aside from being electronic and therefore pretty much unassailable in the physical world, a Meow Meme can easily overtake most humanoid minds via a tailored visual effect.
Okay.
It's a mimetic, right?
Right.
Some kind of mental virus. This usually takes the form of a viral video, complete with sound. Obviously, you must have saved against both the visual and the auditory effect.
Mm.
So there's 2 saves involved, depending
Gotcha.
upon your game. Once the mind is docile, a secondary video is then produced, complete with instructions. And sometimes these are to acquire an object, go to a specific location, murder someone, whatever is appropriate to the campaign.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's just what happens. Some kind of insidious instructions.
That would actually be a great way to start a campaign.
All of you show up in a location because a Meow Meme told you to.
All of you show up in a location covered in blood.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And sinister.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, we should do that at some point. You're welcome, guys. Those with a hardy will or a hardy mind, depending upon the save, and those which can be torn away from the video before it completes its program can be saved from the actual programming.
Sure.
So if you're...
Cue card.
Yeah, if you're stout of mind and body, or someone just wrenches you away before the video can complete, then you're fine. Otherwise, it takes something life-affecting, such as a reduction in hit points, say like half of your hit points gone, or some kind of severe shock to the system. You see your parents naked, something to shock you for you to snap out of it.
Yep. Understand. If one of my people suddenly starts trying to murder a random individual, it's cattle prod time. Just understand.
That would be a shock to the system, right? Hit him with the cattle prod. Okay, now what happened? What something overcame me? I saw this video. There was a cat in it. Combat though, really none.
Right.
Because it's a meme. So it's really just primarily a mind affecting. However, should the player succeed in getting online, so say you're playing Shadowrun, for example.
Sure.
You could maybe attack it on the Matrix. So in that case, it would have the same statistics as, say, like a lion.
Right. So for your average Shadowrun person, it's not terribly dangerous once you can manage
to get online.
Not just to get online, but to track it down once you're on. It's still a cat.
And it's intelligent.
Yes.
It's not just like an animal. In terms of ecology, a byproduct of our collective need to watch crap on screen, Meow Memes work towards their own obscure purpose. Some suggest that all Meow Memes work in concert with each other, even though some seem at cross purposes. But as to the truth, it's anyone's guess.
in my world, they absolutely would not be working together.
See, I would run a campaign where they're literally trying to achieve something, some kind of global domination,
Sure.
and all of the Meow Memes are doing vastly different things. So you might have one infect somebody with the program and have them, just go buy a bunch of lotto tickets. The other one might have you murder somebody. The other one have you go to a specific location, but it's all like some kind of arcane sequence to actually do something.
Sure. If you're a threat, then you might get memed just to show up somewhere, but 40 or 50 people might get memed to murder you at that location.
Now you're seeing where all
Absolutely,
this is going.
yeah.
So it's a really fun assailant. This is something, again, not overt combat, right? I use it more as like a plot device.
Right. And the thing is let's say you're a good character and you're aware of why all these people are trying to murder you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, in good conscience,
kill them?
kill them?
Yeah, because they're just being mind controlled.
Yeah.
They're brainwashed. Oh, delightful moral quandaries.
That's right.
So that's the Meow Meme. Now we've got a final feline horror for you, and Matt, you have it. I believe it's called the Feline Theorem.
Yes. In the depths of space lies the swiftly moving, strange cat star.
A cat star?
Yes.
Like literally a cat star.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As your spaceship approaches the stellar object, you see two permanent stellar flares atop the star, no matter which direction you approach from, forming perfect feline ears.
Nice.
This cosmic horror existed at the beginning of all things and shall exist long after the universe ceases. There are some mystics who believe that the Big Bang was created by the cat star having grown bored and knocking the universe off of the cosmic shelf.
It's just batted the universe around like a toy.
Indeed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is generally regarded as good for those things living in the universe, but no one is certain when the Feline will knock it into extinction in the future.
Okay. So at any point in time, it could just get bored with this whole scenario
And just start tearing the place apart.
in the universe, like Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Cool. So what are the? All right. So that's the cat star.
Yes.
What are the special attacks and defenses?
So what you have to remember is that it's a star.
Fair enough. So it's a star.
Yes.
So combat,
Also
a star.
Star.
Also a
yes.
star.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Does it have an ecology of any sort?
It is a star that eats stars.
So it's a starphage,
Yes.
a stellar phage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In addition, it exhibits an almost bemused personality towards other stellar objects near its gravity. So, for example, it's a cat star.
So anything that's in the local vicinity of the gravity well, it's just going to play with.
Right. Yeah.
So it might bat around a gas giant.
Yeah.
Maybe chew on a comet or something like that, like a mouse.
Absolutely.
Boy, that's going to make stellar travel treacherous.
Well, you know.
This would be. I'm just saying, like you get near the cat star. Don't go near the cat star. He's currently playing with a
Beetle guy.
Type 3 gas giant. It's horrible. The citizens they're all being forced to flee. That's awesome. How does it feel about anything else?
It shows basically a casual disregard for all other life forms that are not Feline, because it's a cat.
So it only likes other cats. Fair enough.
Yeah. And there's nothing large enough for it to domesticate.
I'm down with that too.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Several feline horrors for you to use in your campaign, and feel free to edit them slightly or
just use them for inspiration and edit them significantly.
Yeah, if you guys happen to make artwork and stuff, drop us some pictures of some of these wonderful creations we've come up with.
There are people out there. There has to be someone out there who wants to draw a cat as a star.
That would be really cool. I want to see that. I want to see my box cat too. So I'm going to draw my box cat.
Absolutely.
Did we miss something? Write to us, info@goblinscorner.com, or you can reach me, Eric, at goblinscorner.com,
Or me, Matt at goblinscorner.com.
We're on all the things. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, and Twitch as
Goblin's Corner.
And we're on Instagram as
The Goblin's Corner.
Did you like our show? Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite player, YouTube or Twitch.
If you could do us a favor, click the 5 stars, give us a review on iTunes, Podchaser, and YouTube. It boosts our shows. It feeds the hungry algorithm.
Or the delightful Feline
Yes.
currently burning a star system to the ashes. That's all the time we have for tonight. Once again, my name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
See you next time.
Good night, folks.
The Goblin's Corner is written and produced by Eric Holden and Matt Staples.
The music is by the Mighty D20.
This has been a Subterranean production.